Good afternoon, good morning, or good night according to your time zone. My name is Alerick and I am going to be presenting this session today. I am super excited to be here and more excited to hear about your projects and listen to your pitches. So I'm going to share my screen. Paula, can you please let me know if you can see it?
Yeah, we can see it.
Brilliant. So every time we have an idea or a project that we'd like to talk about to a donor, to a partner, to someone that we would like to get help from, we usually tend to tell them a story. The pitch is that. The pitch is a speech that we tell someone so that we can communicate an idea clearly and we can let them know what's the kind of help we need from them. The elevator pitch is basically the same concept, but thinking about you getting into an elevator, going to the 12th or 16th floor, you have 30 seconds to engage with someone and get their business card or a meeting. So the elevator pitch is a pitch less than 2 minutes long. It has to be oral. It provides high quality information that is relevant to your audience, and also it should work without any supporting materials. That means that you don't have a presentation, you don't have a product to show. You need to be able to show or to describe what you want them to know without any supporting materials. This pitch has 4 principles, basically, to have a good pitch. The first one is a targeted audience. And in this case means knowing who your audience are or is, and tailor your messages to what they need. Is knowing them. Who exactly are you talking to? Is it like children? Is it youth? Is it someone older? Is it someone interested in politics or not? And things like that. The pitch also needs to be simple, clear, and focused. And this is relevant because us humans, we tend to process ideas, many ideas at the same time. So what the literature recommends is that when you're given a presentation, you don't present more than 3 ideas at the same time, because otherwise you're going to overload your audience with information. The third principle is the conscious talking. And in this one is knowing exactly why you're talking and what you want to say. A lot of people tend to be vague, and a lot of people tend to divert from the main focus of their pitch. And being conscious about what you're saying, how you're saying it, and who you're talking to is very important. And to me, the 4th principle perhaps is the most important of all, which is the certainty. Is kind of like being secure of what you're saying and how you're saying it, because the first thing people are gonna look at is like if you're sure of that. If they see you hesitating, if they don't see that you know what you're talking about, they might say, I don't want to engage, I don't want to listen to you. So being assertive is very important, and believing in what you're saying is more important than any other part of the pitch. But how do I build my pitch? And here it comes, the materials that we sent to you. These materials have a step-by-step on how to build a pitch. So we're not going to focus on that in this session. But what this session is going to be is more you having the opportunity to tell us your pitch, to show it to us, and to get some honest and constructive feedback so that you can improve the way you communicate your project ideas to donors. In this case, I'm going to go through like the basics of how to build a pitch, but in the chat, Paula and the rest of the team is going to send you some materials that we already sent you before as well. If you'd like to go through them to build yours, it's going to be amazing. So one of the first things you need to do is knowing your audience. As I said, you need to sit down and say, okay, who am I going to talk to? Your pitch is going to be adapted according to your audience's needs. It's not what you want to say, it's what your audience want to listen to. Then is establishing your objective. And in this case, a lot of people tend to fail in knowing exactly what they want from the people they're talking to. In this case, I have put 2 main questions here, which are, why are you pitching this to your audience? And what do you want them to do? So this what do you want them to do is basically what's the action that your audience is going to have after you've talked to them. You would be impressed to know that a lot of people tend to pitch their ideas and they never ask the person anything, or they didn't tell them what you want them to do. And then the donor or your partner or the person you're talking to end up being like, wow, this is great, but what should I do with this information, right? So you need to be clear on what you need them to do after you've talked to them. Usually the elevator pitches are not exactly to get the money, but more about engaging the people, getting them in the hook so that then they can give you a business card, they can give you a meeting, or they can ask you for a concept note so that you can develop that project or project idea more in the future. After you have the knowledge of your audience and you have established your objective, you go to brainstorming your ideas. And this is where the materials that we've sent come very handy, because they have a step-by-step on how to do these processes. We are using some methods of people who have already proven this to work. So I would recommend you to go to that and just go through the canvas, and there is a video on how to use it so that you can better create your pitches. And then the other two things that we need to remember when we're talking is to have a good, clear opening and a good close. You need to close like a champion. What does it mean to have a clear opening? People tend to judge if they want to invest their time in you or not by the way you talk, the way you look. And if you have a good impression at the very beginning of your presentation, that's going to connect people to you. If you don't, people don't want to listen to you, and they're going to be like, nope, you're not worth my time. And that can happen in seconds. And then closing like a champion is very important, because that's the last thing people are going to see in you, and this is how they're going to remember you. So it doesn't really matter if you've done a great job connecting them in your pitch and everything, but if you close a little bit hesitant and not knowing the answer, they might say, okay, but they don't know what they're doing, even though you might have already said everything great during the pitch. So these two parts are very important, how people are going to connect to you and how people are going to remember you. And there are things that you need to make sure you have during your pitch, and you do during your pitch. The first one, remember to have a call to action. Every time you talk to someone, you're talking to them because you have an intention, and you need to let them know what that intention is and what's the action that you want from them. It can be money, but it can be something else. It can be making a new partnership to get in-kind donation or support. Let's say that you're engaging with a new NGO that has the expertise in monitoring and evaluation, and you want to create a partnership with them. You can also have these kind of conversations. So the elevator pitch doesn't necessarily have to be about money. You need to finish on time, and this is something that you have to do. People you're talking to are busy, and so are you. So finish on time. If they give you that time, be very specific, be short, and tell them what you need to tell them in the time that they're giving to you. And to accomplish this, you need to practice, practice, and practice. This is the only way you can improve the way you talk to people, the way you present your ideas, is by practicing. You can take your time on your phones and just say, okay, let me see if I'm saying this correctly in the time that the person has given to me. Practice it with a person who doesn't know about your project to see if they get it. And the moment you start listening to them asking questions about your project, let's say I'm talking to a friend, they don't know what I'm doing in my work, and they start asking questions, you can say, okay, yes, this person is engaged. But otherwise, if they don't ask questions, they don't engage with you, you might want to change your pitch.